Lama Tompa Chum Dindation Shepa Chan Chompa Yan Dabarzo Be Sangi Bagyawa Shakya Tupala Chak Salo Churukyam Suchiyo. Whenever we engage in any virtuous activity or any type of meditation practice, we need to practice in accordance with the 3 excellences. So this is how we structure a meditation session. First, we need to give rise to a virtuous state of mind. A mind that thinks, I will practice right now for the benefit of every being without exception. I will train my mind to refrain from harm, to engage in virtue, and to be calm, kind, and clear. This is what we're going for. So before we do a meditation session, we can sit down and we can gather ourselves. A simple way of settling into our seat is just to take 3 deep breaths, being fully aware of ourselves on the seat. So we can do that now. Bringing attention to our body, bringing attention to this present moment. Allowing ourselves to drop whatever was happening in the past, not engage with whatever is happening in the future, and just remain here. Then, traditionally, to turn our minds towards the Dharma, we can contemplate what are called the 4 mind changings. So the first to think, I have a precious human life with all these freedoms and advantages. There are countless beings throughout the reach and range of the universe, so many different forms, so many different bodies, and there are even disembodied beings. But here I am with this perfect human form, perfect in the sense that I have enough suffering to want to practice the Dharma. And at the same time, I'm not overwhelmed by suffering. I have enough freedom to practice. I have this incredible cognitive capacity to reflect, to examine my own experience. And I have met with the teachings. I'm able to study them and reflect upon them and put them into practice. This is so fortunate. There are so many beings that don't have this condition. Second, it won't last. Everything is completely and totally impermanent. Everything's changing. On the outer level, the seasons are changing. The objects of our experience are shifting and moving. On the inner level, our mind is constantly changing, in the sense that we have one thought after another, one afflicted emotion after another, clinging, jumping. Everything's completely in flux. And I don't know how long I will have this precious human body. Everyone with whom I meet, I must part. My friends and family, eventually we have to say goodbye. Whatever good experiences I have, they will all be exhausted. Whatever I accumulate, it will all go away. Whatever name, fame, gain, power that I gather, it won't last. And I rely on that which is unreliable. So really think like this. I must rely on that which is reliable. I must accumulate the causes for temporary and ultimate happiness and eliminate the causes of suffering within my own mind. Third, the 3rd mind changing, karma, cause and effect, is functional. It's true. If I engage in negativity, the result will be suffering. And if I engage in virtue and positivity, the result will be happiness. So I must abandon my negativity. I must engage in virtue. Whatever I put out there will come back around. And furthermore, the actions of my body and my speech ensue from the state of my mind. So if my mind is virtuous, my body's actions and my speech will also be virtuous. And if my mind is negative, well, likewise, the actions of my body and speech will be negative. So, may I cultivate a virtuous mind and thereby give rise to virtuous actions of body and speech. And lastly, samsara is completely defective. This means that conditioned experience produces or is laced with suffering. There's no way to fix all the outer phenomena. What I can fix, what I can eliminate, is the delusion within my own mind. So for this moment, giving up this incessant urge to arrange things on the outer level, I will become more comfortable with the wisdom and compassion present naturally within my own mind. I will do that right now. And furthermore, all beings are just like me in that they want happiness and they don't want suffering. So I will become familiar with the love and wisdom naturally present within my own mind so that I can benefit them all, so that I can help them all. So this is where we really give rise to the intent of this first excellence in this three excellence framework. We give rise to this wish to transform our minds for the benefit of everyone. So let's take a moment to generate this intention. May I practice right now for the benefit of all beings without exception, every single one. Every single being. May I benefit them all. Okay, now we continue this engagement of the first excellence by taking refuge and generating further this intent. So in the traditional Buddhist context, we would go for refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. The Buddha being the awakened one and also the awakened state. The Dharma being the teachings of the Buddha that lead us to the awakened state. And the Supreme Assembly or the Sangha being those that help us on our journey. Traditionally the noble Sangha, those who have experience and realization. So we visualize the Buddha in front of us, surrounded by all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and we take refuge 3 times. And we can do this in Tibetan or English. Here I'll do it in English. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly, I take refuge until enlightenment. By the merit of generosity and so forth, may I attain Buddhahood for the welfare of all beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly, I take refuge until enlightenment. By the merit of generosity and so forth, may I attain Buddhahood for the welfare of all beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly, I take refuge until enlightenment. By the merit of generosity and so forth, may I attain Buddhahood for the welfare of all beings. So now we can imagine the Buddha, that all of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas dissolve into the Buddha. And the Buddha melts into light and dissolves into us. And in that state of inseparability from the Buddha, we practice whatever meditation instruction we've been given by our authentic teachers. In this case, if we haven't received instruction from a personal teacher, what we can do is we can follow our breath. So now we're in the stage of the second excellence. Traditionally, when we do this type of meditation practice, we do it without any reference point, practicing completely openly. But until we can really stabilize that type of meditation, we can use the reference point of our breathing. So as the breath enters into your nose, you can follow it right at the tip of our nose. And as it exits, we can follow it, keeping our attention there on the movement of the breath in and out of our nose. There's no need to control the breath. You just follow it. And when we're distracted, no problem. Just return to the breath. So we can remain like that, following the breath, for as long as we like, as long as we've set our session. And at the end of the session, we engage in the third excellence, which is to dedicate the merit. So we've accumulated virtue and perhaps some wisdom through this practice. Now we need to ensure that this virtue and wisdom continues to yield positive results in the direction of awakening for the benefit of everybody forever. So the way that we do that is we dedicate the merit. There are many different types of dedication prayers, and I'll say 2 in English here. Grant your blessings that we may train in impartial love and compassion, and directly realize the ultimate and co-emergent wisdom, as all the Buddhas and their sons and daughters have done. By this virtue, may all beings perfect the accumulations of merit and wisdom, and may they attain the sacred 2 kayas resulting from that merit and wisdom. And 2 more. By this merit, may all beings reach omniscience, may defeat the enemy wrongdoing. From the stormy waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death, from samsara's ocean, may we all be free. May the precious mind of supreme awakening arise in those where it has not arisen. Where it has arisen, may it never wane, but continue to increase forevermore. And then, if we're able, we're taught to dedicate this merit free from one who is dedicating, one who is receiving the dedication and the act of dedicating itself. And if we can't do that, we can think, I dedicate this merit just as all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas dedicate their merit, or just as my teacher is able to dedicate their merit. So that's how we structure a practice according to the 3 excellences. When we finish our meditation practice and go out into the world, we can keep the flavor of our meditation by maintaining our mindfulness. And in the Mahayana, we think everything is like a dream, everything's like an illusion. Because, and this is the key, it's all dependently originated. Everything is dependently originated. Because everything's dependently originated, it is therefore empty of essence from its own side. So all these phenomena appear, but are free from intrinsic reality. Everything's like a mirage, like a flash of lightning, like a dewdrop on a blade of grass. Appearing, but in a sense barely there. Okay?